Hello, and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy episode 503. I knew I could read. For the week of Tuesday, June 1st, 2021, my name is Ryan Higgins. Who's here this week?
Brock Sager.
Kevin.
Toby getting his juice ready?
Yes.
Toby's off juicing.
Juice.
And
Yes.
Charlie.
Wait, does
Think
Toby
we're
have a
gonna hear-
juice tiger? Does he juice everything now?
If you hear, that's Toby. Toby's like, when do we start recording? Okay, that's when I'm going to go start making my juice. Like,
Juice tiger. I juice everything
why?
now.
Why not later? Why not earlier? Why literally right when we're going to start recording the podcast?
Because
he decide
that's what irritates you the most.
making juice. It doesn't irritate me. I'm confused why this would be the moment to make juice. We'll see when Toby comes back. We'll ask him how his juice is. Hey, don't have a ton of stuff to talk about this week.
We're going to have a quiz on episode 502.
Kevin, I got multiple people that wrote in saying how much they enjoyed that quiz.
Well,
So-
I'm glad to hear that. I cut like half the questions out because I didn't want anybody to go down in flames further than they already were.
So we'll have to have another one. Not
Oh, you need time to
Regularly.
accumulate. Yeah.
not
Yeah.
regularly, but
What?
down
Like
the
we
road.
don't
we
have
should
enough episodes already?
Yeah, down the road we should have another quiz. That was fun. So it was a light news week. I really don't have anything to talk about, but we do have a bunch of questions. But there was very, very, very little newsworthy stuff to talk about. However, I did want to talk briefly after we do our some questions about Invincible, because I finally watched the end of season 1. So I know a lot of people have been watching that. We've been selling a ton of trades as people have been finally catching up on that series. Who here has seen Invincible, the whole thing?
I've only seen the first half.
Okay,
I haven't gone back to finish it yet.
Kevin has.
And if
I
you had
finished it,
posted this topic more than like an hour and a half before the podcast, I might have had time to watch the remaining 4.
Oh, I won't go.
How many episodes are there?
8.
Oh, I'm halfway.
Okay, yeah, no
Wow,
spoilers.
I'm
but we can-
ahead of you two guys on finishing.
Whoa,
Wow.
dogs!
Demon dogs! Demon dogs!
Dogs are all fighting.
Conspiracy
What's going on?
demon dogs. Let's get this show on the road.
Get out of here!
What are you going to do?
Throw them in the other room.
Well, they're not fighting anymore.
You're going to throw the dog? Literally?
Get that squeaky toy away from her. They wait until the podcast starts recording to start squeaking toys and fighting and doing all sorts of other stuff. So, dogs, what are you going to do?
And to think,
Um,
my dog's just sleeping underneath me, being perfectly silent.
My dog's in the other room, silent. We occasionally hear him when he gets up and then shakes. And
Shakes.
rattle.
yeah. That's all right. There was, very, very little news to talk about this week. But the one thing that I did want to talk about, because I figure it's worth talking about, because a movie got announced and an actor got announced, and this will go into the giant pile of why.
Why not?
But I guess Sony is determined to milk Spider-Man as much as they ever possibly can. So
Do spiders
Aaron
have nipples?
Aaron Taylor Johnson, who of course was the MCU Quicksilver, has been cast.
And
I don't know
come
who else.
on. Come
No,
on.
What else is he? I have no clue.
Kick ass.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
He is going to play Kraven the Hunter for some reason. So there you go. We're getting a Kraven the Hunter solo film because
Do you remember? I want to say at this point it's 10 years ago when Drew Goddard was going to do a Sinister Six movie for Sony.
yeah.
And this seems like they're just doing the individual Sinister Six members instead of that. But-
So remember when they announced that was her name, Silver Sable movie? Do you remember that a couple years ago? Yeah. So okay, Spider-Man, of course, sure. Venom, totally understandable. Venom, they can kind of do their own thing with Venom. I don't care about that. Morbius,
Is that movie still coming out?
Yeah.
yeah, like soon, right?
In October, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think.
Morbius is dumb, but I'm at least like, I mean, it's a vampire thing. That's easy enough for them to, kind of fake into its own little standalone movie. Okay. I mean, it's going to be horrible, but sure, whatever. Kraven is like this. Spider-Man has the problem that a lot of superheroes have, where he has a couple really good villains, and then that list kind of tanks very quickly.
Well, the problem in this case is, and you're going to get arguments that Spider-Man has the best rogues gallery, but
it still tanks very quickly.
But the problem with this concept is Kraven is only interesting with Spider-Man in the story. Otherwise, he's literally a big game hunter.
Right.
That's his whole gimmick.
And of course, like all these movies, they rarely, if ever, have anything to do with the comics, so they could do whatever, right?
But what's he going to hunt if there's no superhero in the movie?
The real game, humans.
Yeah. He'll I don't know. Maybe he'll hunt criminals and they'll make him a good guy. I don't know, right?
So he's the Punisher.
1%.
Right. They can do whatever they want with him, clearly, but I don't. What do you do with a Kraven the Hunter movie?
What?
Like as a villain of a Spider-Man movie? Yeah, sure, okay,
Right.
Yeah. The urban jungle. He's out there kicking some ass. Okay, that's cool. I mean, clearly, I don't expect him to be walking around with of every costume. Kraven the Hunter is like the one where I'm like, no, we're good. You don't have to copy the comics. You could totally make your own costume.
And see, that's the one thing that would get me to watch it.
A giant
if it was
lion head.
exactly true to the comics, and he's strolling around with those leopard print tights and that big fur, I'm in.
I read the Spider-Man Hunted arc a little while ago from like the current Spider-Man book, and it's like Kraven the Hunter is dead, and his son Kraven the Hunter, who looks exactly like him, is now taking his place. And I'm like, okay.
Wait, didn't he have a daughter?
Yeah, I don't know. She might be gone too. I have no idea. But Kraven the Hunter's son is now Kraven the Hunter.
Maybe this is Kraven the Hunter sowing his wild oats. So we'll see where all of his children come from.
That's literally. That's literally part of the story in the Hunted book. Yeah, but this was like, yep, Kraven the Hunter's kid, Kraven the Hunter, who just looks exactly like him, and we'll never talk about this again. It's like Fat Tony on The Simpsons. It's like I'm talking to Leanne. It's like Fat Tony on The Simpsons.
What?
It's like Fat Tony on The Simpsons, who was like killed, and his brother Fat Tony took over for him. Is that what it is? Huh? Fit Tony. But then he becomes Fat Tony. Yeah. It's the same thing. Yeah. So, and then we'll never discuss this again. Look, whatever. Sure, I'll go see a Kraven the Hunter movie for some reason. Why not?
Well, here's a question for all of you guys before we get to the actual questions. Imagine a solo movie with one Spider-Man villain that hasn't been used already. Who would you pick? No Spider-Man in the movie. It's
a solo villain movie.
Yes, with no Spider-Man. Okay. So you can't use Venom or Carnage.
Okay, so a solo villain movie,
Spider-Man
villain movie with a character that has not been. So no Green Goblin.
No, you can, because that's fine. Now we're counting that as
that hasn't had their own movie yet.
Yeah,
okay,
their own movie.
I got mine.
Go.
The Beetle. Because God, I want superior foes.
I mean, that'd be really fun. They could do a really good Chameleon movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like that is a character that they could take away from Spider-Man and do something really neat with. But I mean, he's not a great villain in the comics, really. But his power set is pretty cool, and they could do like some spy thriller, upgrade the Chameleon to some like more interesting level than what he is in the comics.
An actor.
Charlie, who's your pick?
That could work.
It's a good question. I mean, it depends on what they did with it. I mean, there's a lot of people who have a grudge against Norman Osborn and that kind of stuff. So I could see them spinning out various characters into a solo movie using a backdrop of a bigger bad guy to kind of paint them as sort of the anti-hero doing bad things to get revenge against Norman or whatnot. Because because that's kind of what comes to mind between like the Vulture and even Doc Ock, and there's a lot of really smart characters that you can always sort of trace back story-wise, a rich story to a feud with Oscorp.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
that would kind of be my easy in for any of the sort of smarter Rogues Gallery characters.
Yeah, Green Lantern.
Especially if
Green
they...
Lantern, Jesus. Green Goblin, obviously, there's a lot of,
Yeah.
potential to do something cool with him, but...
Yeah. And especially if they made it like a heist movie or something where a group of villains was trying to break into Oscorp. I could see that being a fun concept.
Yeah.
Well, much as I love the Michael Keaton Vulture, I'm going to go with a true to the Steve Ditko comics Vulture solo movie. Give me Larry David as the Vulture, and I want him robbing banks and carrying sacks of money with a dollar sign on as he foils the law. I'll be the only one in the theater watching it, but
it'd be amazing.
I'll be okay. You can come with me. We'll be the only two. It'll be a private screening.
You say Larry David, right?
Yeah.
Is that what I heard?
I want the Steve Ditko Vulture, essentially.
Yeah. I could see that.
Now, what I would like them to do is go back and give us a Sandman like solo movie, because that Sandman from Spider-Man 3 was really good.
Yeah.
Now, is the Curb Your Enthusiasm music just going to play in the background the whole time?
Yeah.
As he gets continually foiled on his crimes. Yeah. So basically, it's going to be a super powered Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Well, we get to get through. Kraven the Hunter first, so
and Morbius.
Nope.
Yeah.
And Venom too.
Yep.
See, for Morbius, I would have just used that as a back door to bring Blade into the MCU.
Yep.
They still could.
Yeah. Assuming that they want to have that agreement with Sony to be able to establish the character in one of those movies. But I mean, that should be easy at this point.
Yeah.
They don't seem very likely to terminate that relationship again.
There was some news that there's a big talk of what Spider-Man is going to do with Disney going forward, but I didn't read into the article. I'm sure no one knows yet. We'll find out soon. All right, Kevin. I know you cannot hang out super, super long tonight, so we're going to get to some questions. And I'll talk Invincible briefly at the end. Oh, do you... You got to go. Tell me when you got 10 minutes.
Okay.
We'll get through a couple questions.
I'll give you a signal.
Yeah, then we'll talk Invincible for a few.
We don't have to... If those guys haven't seen it, we don't need to go in depth.
Okay. Yeah. I don't want to keep you too late. I asked for questions. We got a bunch of questions. Oh, I should actually pull the Patreon. I got some Patreon questions too. Well,
so prepared we are today.
Well, I got some Twitter questions, but I got some
should
on here
Brock
too.
come back into work on Tuesdays? Yeah, at some point.
God, what?
She keeps growling at me. I don't know what she wants.
I put my headphones on.
Happy.
Just pick her up and let her talk.
Go do whatever.
Just pick her up and let her talk. Just pet her.
I can't help you.
Give her some attention.
My dog
pick her
is
up.
I don't
just
know
pick her up.
Little one. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Just pick her up and give her some attention. It's okay. Charlie's probably pet his dog a couple times.
She's literally just sleeping under the table where I'm at.
A dog does not want me doing the podcast anymore. I mean, that makes two of us. Jonathan asks, after decades of seemingly very few new characters being created at the Big Two, it finally feels like they're turning a corner. What are your favorite brand new characters that Marvel and DC created in the last 5 years or so? What are your favorite characters in the last 5 years?
Batman Who Laughs.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Get you there on a technicality. What?
I think built into the premise of that question is you're not going to see that many because nobody wants to give away on a work for hire contract
but they have character. They've had Marvel and DC have introduced. Well, DC has introduced a number of new characters. Surprisingly, I don't know if they have some new ownership rights or royalties or whatever. Marvel has done more, I feel, than in quite some time But they tend to be like weird mashup characters, and I don't. Yeah, brand new Marvel characters. I'm drawing kind of a blank. I'm sure there've been minor ones, but DC's had.
Does Riri Williams count?
Yeah, but that's not even 5 years ago at this point. That's
she's 8.
That's longer than that. I mean, DC's had a couple big ones. You know, whether you think what's the Batman Joker's girlfriend lady with Punchline. Yeah, I mean they've done a lot with her, right? All the characters that in Tinian's Batman, he's created a bunch of new villains and heroes. Trying to think what else. They had that Monkey King guy that they put in the Asian superhero.
I haven't read that one yet. The festival one.
Yeah. The anthology recently, and you know they become a big deal about that. They brought him. You know, you have a character like Max Willard's daughter. You know, is that a new character? I mean, technically, sure, but it's related to another character. But yeah, there's a few. But you know, favorites, man, it's tough. When characters have really been around that long, like it takes a lot longer than that for me to like really get attached to them. I was talking with Marshall, my guy at the store today about. He asked me if I hate Teen Lantern, from Bendis's Young Justice and now the Green Lantern book. And I don't hate her. She's fine. We just don't know anything about her. She just hasn't done anything. The Young Justice was just so kind of like Legion. It kind of just didn't go anywhere. So we didn't really get her whole story. I think that's what's going to happen in Green Lantern.
I think Young Justice just brought a whole bunch of those characters together and then said, hey, look, they were together. They did some stuff, and maybe we'll do some more stuff with them in the future.
Yeah, they didn't do much. But she's fine. But again, don't really know enough about her. So, anyone else?
I think a lot of the. No, go ahead, Charlie.
I was just going to say the whole premise of hasn't really. Like, the speculator market has been pushing new characters for a very long time. Like, I remember all they focus on the Joker's daughter and I don't think there's ever been a direct time when I felt like the big two weren't trying to create the new it character. So there's always a sort of, let's just put out some new characters and see who sticks around. And honestly, most of the time, I can't take those characters too seriously too long, and then they just kind of fade away. So,
yeah, actually, I'm looking up a list of characters that Marvel created from 2020, and it's a lot of villains, and then a lot of characters where I'm like, let's see where these characters are. But a lot of them are like, okay, so there's a new Werewolf by Night. Again, that's not a new character. Okay, there's like a legion of Fing Fang Foom. Like, okay, I mean, that's not a new character. There's a new Star Brand. That's not a new character.
I think a lot of this is going to tilt towards villains or supporting characters because they're easy to fold into something that's ongoing versus like Naomi would be an example of a brand new lead.
Is that 5 years? That might be less than 5 years.
It's got to be. Please, come on. We can't be in that kind of a time warp. I was going to say 3 years on that. Am I crazy?
Let me take a look. I don't remember when Naomi #1 came out. Was it 2019? Holy shit, that was 2019. Oh, no. Yeah? No, that was 2019. Yeah. Wow.
Whew.
It feels much earlier than that. I thought it was earlier than that.
I think Lane put a comment in it went by, I didn't see it, but was it that new Warriors team?
Never came out.
Safe space.
Never happened. Never happened.
But that would have been your #1.
Never going to happen. There's a bunch of more of like Venom.
Oh,
people.
Like Screech or no
Screech?
What's
it's my favorite. My favorite Saved by the Bell character. Black Winter from Thor. Strange Academy is a legit group of new characters. Like Doctor Strange. Yeah. So that those. With most characters, where are these guys going to be? Yeah, Codex, Virus. So, not too many of these characters make a mark with me after only a couple of years. But yeah, you never know what they're going to be.
I think we've gotten a handful of strong independent new characters.
Oh, sure.
In the past few years.
Follow up with that, or no? Just
oh no. I was taking a moment to go. Okay, there's something is killing the children.
Yeah.
Erica, I believe her name is.
Yeah.
And then
I mean every independent book is all new characters. So yeah.
But like a little more memorable ones, ones that have stuck around or seem to be going to stick around. But I still think Safe Space and those new Warriors should come out. That's a great team.
No. No. Yeah, no. Happy. I got nothing for you, baby. I'm sorry. I can't.
Pick her up. Just hold her.
You want
she just wants your embrace. That's all she wants.
My dog is so needy tonight. I'm so sorry. Had some more questions. Where'd they go? Here we go. Here's another question. I moved away from it. This is for you, Kevin.
Oh,
it's not for you. It's not specifically for you. Has anyone watched the MODOK TV show yet?
No.
Okay.
2 episodes of it?
Okay, I do want to watch it. This is from Evans, regular shop, and always commenting. He says, "Who would have thought that Grant Morrison's Hexus the Living Corporation from Marvel Boy would show up on TV?" Well, it is on MODOK. So I
got those issues. Are they going up in price on eBay?
Probably not.
Damn it!
When I read that, I was like, I don't even remember this. So I looked at Marvel Boy. I'm like, okay, yeah. I
love that Morrison Marvel Boy miniseries with, I think it's J.G. Jones is the art.
Yeah.
I love that series.
It has been a long time since I read that.
I think we sold like 2 sets of that over the past 10 years.
Yeah. There's a character from the last 5 years I really like, the new Marvel Boy. That's 5 years ago, right? Oh wait, it was like 20. Oh shit.
Can we talk about this nonstop to drive up the interest on eBay so I could sell my book?
What was the question about Hexus? Oh, who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Oh, well, nobody here.
I do want to watch MODOK.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I heard it's really funny.
Charlie, do you like it?
I mean, it's fine. It kind of reminds me of Robot Chicken and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Harley cartoon is much better kind of thing. Like I was definitely not laughing as much as I thought I might.
Yeah, it looks very funny. I like Patton Oswalt. He's good.
Yep.
This is from the longboard nerd guy on Twitter. He says, when you stop to think about it, when Superman gets hit by Muhammad Ali so many times, do you have more respect for Ali after that? The classic Superman versus Muhammad Ali.
That's a deep cut question.
Classic Neil Adams, Superman versus Muhammad Ali. I mean, I figure he's lucky he didn't because Superman's depowered or powered down during this.
Yeah.
So Muhammad Ali probably could just kill Clark Kent with one punch. So the fact that he's like, oh, I don't know. Hopefully he didn't take it easy on him or something. Because
Superman would have no need to ever have boxing skills, right? Or really any kind of fighting skill,
right.
Well, when he comes up against magic,
that's true.
If they're magic fighters, he has to know how to fight.
Yeah, but he tends to just, Superman can usually brute force it out, or occasionally he's got to figure it out. And fighting against Muhammad Ali, that's a tough fight.
Are they ever going to reprint that?
They have.
Again,
they have a few times. I think that's how one of the DC's have been doing a lot of these great, the oversized tabloid hardcover reprints. They're doing that Legion, the Superboy and the Legion. I'm so excited for that one. They're really good quality. They do a good job with those.
That Ali one, by the way, is Rob Liefeld's pick for best illustrated single comic book in the history of comic books. It's hard to argue. I mean, that art is fantastic.
It covers one of the most iconic covers of all time. So yeah. It's from Mike. And this is I'm pretty sure I know exactly the answer to this question, but we'll ask it anyway. Maybe someone will surprise me. He says, "What are your thoughts of the current Heroes Reborn event? My thought is not a single one of us have opened page 1 of any of them.
I bought 3 copies.
Pretty of what? Oh, of your
the fake Wonder Woman cover.
Yeah, your Art Germ cover.
Well, I bought 2, maybe. I think I bought 2.
Toby, what's that character name? Princess Power or something like that?
I don't know. I don't care.
Oh,
so wait, is her symbol PP?
I'm ashamed about my Squadron Supreme knowledge here.
I just really like the cover a lot.
He said, I started reading with apprehension and wound up really digging it. I'm all in on it, even the tie-ins. I picked it up mainly due to being a big fan of Squadron Supreme and the Mark Grimwald series, which the original Squadron Supreme is amazing.
Yeah,
I was a big fan of the Michael Straczynski one, but I kind of felt like it started really strong, but like a lot of Michael Straczynski things, it kind of just fizzled out without a real ending. Am I remembering this correctly?
Oh, it's Power Princess. I pulled that out of an orifice.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
All right.
It's still PP.
I just I will read it when it's done, but his sold okay at the store, all things considered. The for having little interest, the tie-ins have had like nobody sign up for or order, which is pretty typical for how these events go. I was told that I would love it because it's basically a big DC Comics story. It's Jason Aaron doing a Justice League comic, just called Heroes Reborn. So. But I'll get to it. You know, I've been reading a lot of stuff on the Marvel app, the Marvel Unlimited catch up. I am, of all things, I went back because I was starting to read the current Captain America series, and I was like, you know what? I never actually finished the Hydra Cap Nick Spencer stuff. So of all the books, I'm going back and reading that from the beginning.
You didn't need to.
I think while you're at it, you should read that JRJR Cap run with the Dimension Z.
No. Sorry, recommender. No, I will not read that. I never read that. I read the first issue, and I was like, and I am done. I've read.
We did have one good thing to say about that issue. Is the inker did an amazing job not making you want to gouge your eyes out looking out at that artwork.
Oh no, it was not great. Since like maybe issue 300 or so, I've read the vast majority of Captain America, but there's been gaps, that being one of them. I think it is tough. Marvel's quarterly event is tough to keep up on.
I haven't read this Heroes Reborn at all, but isn't it just like a what if story?
Yeah.
But it's spread out over months.
It's like 2 months, but it's 7 issues plus the one shot and a ton of little one shot. It's like 7 issues weekly.
But it's essentially what if the Squadron Supreme had been the Avengers?
Yeah, I think sounds right.
Okay.
Isn't that every Squadron Supreme story?
Okay, I mean, it sounds. Yeah. I would read it. I just don't feel compelled to buy like multiple issues across multiple weeks.
I'm baffled as to why it took over. Like, why it replaced anything? Like, why is this in replacement of Thor and Cap and Iron Man and Avengers? Like, why not just have those two? Because it doesn't have anything to do with it. As far as I know, it's like just its own little standalone event. So
they're pulling a DC and doing a standalone event, so the other books have time to catch up.
Maybe. I don't know. Chris Noyes wants to know
the noise and the funk.
Chris Noyes, or as Marshall calls him, No Yes. He asked the most important question of all. The most important. How are you doing, Chris? I think I can answer for all of us. We're so tired every day.
You can't say that to Chris. He's a new daddy.
Every day,
you
so
can't
tired.
Say you're tired. Not to him.
We have real jobs. Sorry, Chris. We have real jobs. I'm joking. He also has a job and a kid. I'm sure he's more tired than we are, but we are also very tired. Very tired all the time, Chris. Every day, exhausted. That's how I'm doing. Thanks for asking.
But you're in sweatpants now, recording a podcast, and you're doing.
Toby, to answer your question, no, we're never recording in person again. Sorry, fuck that. I can't do it. I can't ever do it again. I'm never at the store. I'll never want to be at the store again.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
on the air,
I called
right
it
now.
before.
Who wants like 100% would rather record in person?
Me.
I'm indifferent either way.
It's more fun.
It is. Also,
we get memorable moments of like us almost pissing ourselves laughing and
do that on here too,
Brian. It's not the same. Like, it's not the same. Gotta fucking get back in person.
Just so tired.
Toby, you know what Toby really misses? Coming and laying down while we start recording the podcast.
Well, I'll put on clothes again because I'm barely wearing anything right now because
I can't leave the store at 11:30 at night. I just can't do it.
11:30. We used to record at 6:30 or 7.
No, 7.
We would not start at 7 if we had to record now. We didn't even start pulling the books today till 7:00.
That's because you didn't call me in for my new shift time.
Don't do it on a night when you have books on the coming in.
There's literally no day we can do it.
Okay.
Dude, what the fuck?
So, my answer to this is...
I called this when we went to online shit. Ryan is never going to look back.
Never go back. Never go back.
So, in general, I would like to keep recording remotely, but I do think it is worth having in-person recordings occasionally, like for big movie episodes or even like the end of the year wrap-up episodes or something like that.
Sure. That's
second
fine.
that, Charlie. Second that.
Something where we can actually, get food.
That's fine. That's fine.
I just when I thought I couldn't hate you guys anymore,
maybe we could do if we all do like Thursday night if we all do like Thursday night movies or Friday night movies or something, maybe we would do like a Saturday night like episode or something like that. Because Tuesdays are tough.
What the fuck am I hearing here? Saturday night? Some of us do shit on Saturday nights.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You do anything.
What the hell is wrong with you? This is like getting worse by the minute.
What do you do on a Saturday night, Toby?
I got my left toe and my right toe to play with.
Okay.
Somehow it's turned into Ryan's questions and not the listeners.
Yeah. I just feel like somebody has to say it, so I'll do it. Good radio.
Yeah. That's what we provide here for 503 episodes.
Dan wants to know if you purchase a single issue of another series of a comic only because it has a crossover tie-in with the series you collect, where do you keep that single issue? Do you put it crossed over, or do you keep it whatever the title says it should be?
No, in order of the books, or in reading order.
Okay, but so you buy
everything.
Let's say you buy Nightwing, Batgirl, and Batman, and you don't normally buy Batman. You buy Nightwing and Batgirl.
Yeah.
And there's a Batman crossover with them.
Yeah.
And you buy that issue of Batman. You're not going to put Nightwing and Batgirl crossed over into each other because you have their whole series. So you're going to keep those separate.
No, you got it wrong. You buy multiples of the Batman, so I could put it in each of the Batgirl and the Nightwing one.
Yeah.
But then you have to buy multiples of Nightwing and Batgirl to then put those series in there as well.
Sometimes I do that as well.
Huh?
No, you just buy the Tick crossovers and then put it with Tick.
You can either put it in reading order as the story goes, so whatever chapter you can put it in, or you take those issues out and put them in the miniseries section under whatever the title of the book is.
I'm not gonna lie.
Or the crossover.
I'll read it if I do actually read it, but usually it just goes in a pile at home, and then I forget about it, and then I'll buy the trade and I'll read the trade. So
Yeah, I will normally put it in the section it like the actual name of it. So if it's Batman, it goes under Batman. If it's Nightwing, it goes under Nightwing. If that's all I'm going to buy, I will generally put it where it goes because I feel like if I'm looking for it, I won't know where it is otherwise. Because I guess if it's part of a crossover and I come across it, I mean, I guess that makes sense. But I'm unlikely.
But you get most DC books anyway, so you would already be getting those series.
What's that?
You would already be getting those series if there was a Batman Nightwing crossover. You'd already have those books, so it would just go in the order that.
I'm saying if I was buying like, so Batgirl's a perfect example. I didn't buy the last Batgirl series, but they had the Joker War crossovers. But I'm not going to put it with Batman. I just put it with Batgirl because that's where it goes. I think it might be a little bit different if it's like Age of Apocalypse or something like that, where you like maybe just store those books chronologically, because like breaking those out individually doesn't make a lot of sense. Like that I might put together.
Whatever
like in
works
reading
best
order,
for you.
but normally I would separate them out. Anyone else?
I don't know. It's a binding question. Right?
Everyone loves those binding questions.
I mean, for me, it depends if you're going to be breaking up the quote-unquote crossover anyways. Like, for an example where you have the Batgirl issues and the Nightwing issues, but you're buying the Batman issue, then yes, you have to sort of store that separately. But there's plenty of times I've decided I'm going to get every single issue of this big event that's crossing over through all the books. I will always keep those all together, kind of thing, because there's so many issues in that crossover that I would have no other issues of whatsoever.
Like Blackest Night.
Yeah. Or even something like the Year of the Villain stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you're all in on an event or something, it doesn't make sense to file those away under individual titles.
Yeah, it's I'll generally keep all the event stuff together. So like you talk about Blackest Night, right? That would be something where all the Blackest Night stuff is together. Green Lantern Corps, those go into their separate sections, but because it's ongoing. But yeah, like all the minis. As from Nick on Twitter, he says, we talked to your good friends at DC about an updated atlas of the DC universe, or maybe a Jose Luis Garcia Lopez style guide collection. It's funny, that style guide conversation came up over the weekend too with one of my customers. I am more confident now that some of these lost DC projects will see the light of day. I don't know about the Garcia Lopez style guide, but I think they know that's a thing people have asked about. Atlas of the DC universe. When did they even do one of those? I mean, they must have back in the day, but that'd be cool. The two big ones that I know people want that got solicited and then canceled are the Before Batman Detective Comics Omnibus, which collects Detective Comics 1 through 26. So it's all the issues of Detective before Batman was introduced. And the Shazam Captain Marvel, technically, although I guess I'd have to call it Shazam. The Shazam Monster Society of Evil year-long event from the that technically Golden Age. Yeah. So what, early 50s?
Well, it went over. It might have even crossed over from 40s to 50s.
Did it? Yeah, because it was like a year-long story. Yeah. I don't remember what year they did that. Which was the if not the first ongoing story arc in comics, one of. It's just not a thing that happened in comic books. Both of those were canceled due to concerns about questionable material that I feel can be easily, not that it should be dismissed, but could easily be written away with a warning and an explanation of, there's a small bit of content in this that is, does not represent DC and comic books as a whole today, and society's moved away from this, and easy enough to kind of, I hate to see those two collections go away.
I'm looking right now at a PDF of the Monster Society of Evil on this computer that I'm using. So it's 1945 is when it ended, and it ran for 2 years.
Oh, is it that early? Oh shit! I thought it was later than that. Wow, yeah, that is straight Golden Age.
The Atlas of the DC universe,
was that part of a game?
Yeah, that was connected to the DC Heroes role-playing game that came out. This was out in 1990. There's a handful of copies on like eBay for like 13 to like.
I think is that the one that they just kind of redid in Strange Adventure. That
maybe
what's his face? Sierra's name, not Mitch Garrett's.
Shaner.
Oh,
yeah.
Doc
He
Shaner?
said he used like that original map. Was that from that?
No, that's from
maybe.
I remember this now. I think that map is from
That's from one of the issues.
From a Strange Adventures issue.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe that
because that Atlas thing is the whole DC universe. Right, I think he's mapping Ran.
Yeah. But I figured.
Oh, I see what you mean.
In the Atlas.
Oh, got you.
Yeah, no. The Atlas provides like the background of cities in the United States, countries of the Earth, planets of the galaxy, and dimensions that make up the multiverse. So, and there is a huge list of places here. So it's like, there's a lot going on. So
that's cool.
Well, if they can put out a Who's Who omnibus when probably 85%,
that thing is
85% of what's in there is out of continuity, there's no reason they can't do release that style guide from the 80s.
Yeah.
No, but I would take an updated Atlas.
Oh, I love that stuff.
That would be cool.
Question from Joe.
Might just have to order one just to see what it's like.
Joe and I like this question. He says, "What comics can be described by their numbers alone? If someone came into the store and said, 'I have a 181,' you'd instantly know they meant Incredible Hulk." Well, you would think. What book? What issue numbers? What comics can be described simply by a number?
15.
Yeah.
608.
What's 608?
Hush.
Oh, say.
I would think 300. I would think 300.
Well,
I would think 300 is pretty common. I think if someone said that, I think most people, most people that are collectors would know they mean Amazing Spider-Man 300.
If they said a 137, would you?
The X-Men?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a 94 or a 94.
94. I think most people would know. Yeah. Or giant size one. Like you just there was like 50 giant size ones.
Right.
But there's only one giant size one.
Yeah. Giant size one. Yeah.
How many different books got those giant sizes? It was a couple dozen at least, right? I mean, there was a bunch of them. But yeah.
I mean, everybody knows 52 is associated with like the era.
It's not really
of books.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking DC and you said 52, I mean, I think people would know what that is. That's a good question. I don't think there's a ton of others.
Well, everybody just wants to get issue 666 of anything. So
Batman's the only one that really was anything. That's the Future Damien story.
Future Damien, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's it. For Brock's point of view on the 608, I think that's just because not many books made it that high before all the renumbering started. So there's only a handful of books that actually got that high naturally. So I think if someone's at 608, I think people know what they're talking about. Yeah. It's a good question. I like that. Yeah, I don't think there's too many. Kevin, you got a minute? You want to talk about Invincible before you have to go?
Oh, we still got some time. You want to take another question?
Yeah, let's do a couple more.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. Kevin, if we were going to wrap up, and we got one more question for you. Question from Colin is, can you read some emails? That's the question.
Yeah.
Are people going to have to send me emails in the past? Because I'm not going to say my old emails is getting low, but it is, lower than you would think.
So you're telling people they need to send us emails now,
so we can read it in a couple of years,
so that we have, so that we can read it in a couple of years.
Do you think there's entertainment value in reading an old email and answering it when it's a specific thing tied to the moment it was written, and not like an evergreen question?
I mean,
what did you think of that last issue of Hush, guys? Would there be entertainment value in answering that now?
There could be.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Toby, you there?
Yeah.
Why don't you give me a year from like 2013 to like 2018? I mean, technically, I have 2019 and 2020 questions too. So, and 2021.
What's the beginning year?
2013.
We'll go with 2017.
2017. All right. Who wants to give me a month?
15. Oh, month. Oh. To 11.
11.
A day. 15.
All right. I don't have one on that, but I got
What's the closest one to November?
Okay, this is October 17th, 2017. Great question from Hunter, who, as far as I know, still listens. He says, "I'm a big fan of the Comics History podcast. I look forward to the podcast every week and love listening to older podcasts. I'm a huge fan of the Grant Morrison Animal Man run and wondering what you guys would think a Tom King run of Animal Man would. What do you think it would be like? Hope to hear your thoughts." Well, Hunter, I hope you waited 4 years because now you're hearing our thoughts of what we think about Grant Morrison's, of a Tom King Animal Man run. And I just want a Tom King Animal Man run now. Like that's. How did I not answer this question 4 years ago?
Yeah, this is the next 12-issue mini. Is he's doing?
I would kill for that. That'd be great. There are a few people out there with backgrounds as fucked up as Buddy Baker and kind of rough family life and yeah, don't want to be hanging out with him too often if you can't.
So I have a question for anybody who knows the answer to this. I have not read any solo Animal Man. I mean, I maybe have read the New 52 when, like, the first couple when that started. Was that Jeff Lemire?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But I haven't. But maybe like 2 issues of that. Is Animal Man? Does Animal Man currently? I'm going to ask this generally for those who haven't read it all. So I'm going to try to ask this spoiler free. Does the current iteration of Animal Man remember the events of the Grant Morrison run?
Well, he would now, right? Post Infinite Frontier. There is the superhero Animal Man and then the Vertigo character Animal Man. They are kind of 2 distinct different characters because Justice League something, he was in that. The
Internet Justice League
United? Is that what it was? Justice League United?
He was in United, yeah.
And that's the much more superheroic Animal Man. There was a couple of miniseries where it was more the superhero stuff. And
he was in Countdown to Adventure.
If they acknowledge it, it's very brief.
That was a great run with Adam Strange and Starfire. Yeah, that was
cool stuff. But they don't really acknowledge that. The New 52 Animal Man run,
it touches on a lot of stuff, but it doesn't dive deep into the Morrison stuff.
I would have to go back and look at it. It's been a while since I read it. I don't remember if they acknowledge it, but it is very like Scott Snyder Swamp Thing. It definitely is greatly inspired by that stuff.
Okay,
so maybe not specifically. Hey, remember that time looked at the audience reading the comic book I'm a part of, but remember that time I chased the Roadrunner?
Lemire twisted it into
from Wile E. Coyote.
He twisted it into he was the Hollywood actor, the big Hollywood actor that was looking out for environmental rights.
Yeah, that's
in Lemire's. So it touched on it, but it didn't. I don't think it dove in as much as Morrison's did.
Look, I'm the last person to say that creators have to be shackled to past continuity but so tell
except when it comes to watching a Kraven the Hunter movie with that outfit.
Well, even the post Morrison stuff, There's a lot of that I haven't read, but the stuff I did read, it felt like they were kind of doing their own thing.
Yeah, just
too.
like tell whatever story you want. I was just wondering because the character at the end of the Morrison run, that would be like the defining event of your existence going forward. Like you're not going to go stop a bank robber and stuff like that. Like your entire existence has changed. So I was just wondering if that was ever carried forward.
Tonally, but I don't know how much they acknowledge it.
They have a nice omnibus of it, though. The New 52 stuff.
Bleeding Cool was talking about the writer today. Grant Morrison.
Who?
Yeah. Saw an article about that.
You're reading Bleeding Cool again?
RSS feed. I didn't read it, but they were talking about the writer. I was like,
I thought you deleted that from it.
Bleeding Cool stays on there. Deleted some of the other ones. All right. Want to talk Invincible?
I guess we've got to keep it real vague, right? Toby, have you watched it? Yeah.
I watched half of the first episode. So I have not made any progress since last time.
We can save it for next week
if you want.
Okay, yeah, we can save it. Yeah, we'll just do more questions. Yeah.
Okay, so I have homework.
Everybody seems to be losing their shit over the show, so
it's really good. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Well,
let's just put it this way: I sold 2 compendiums to a guy who only brought one up to the counter.
Yeah, no, it's yeah. This is one of those shows where it is directly selling books because there's one book. You know, it's big book,
it's self-contained. It's done. It's not running. It's
all right. Everybody's homework. Finish Invincible.
All right. Sergeant America wants to know if someone visits the shop. Where do you recommend they eat?
No. You got to say the name right.
Sergeant America.
Merca.
If you're coming to Comics Conspiracy, where do you eat? He wants to know.
Tyson's is good next door.
Yep.
Like literally where the store is, or just where would you eat if you're coming to Sunnyvale?
Just eat in your area. So I like Tyson's.
Jersey
I
Mike's
am
is
a
good.
big fan of the Duke of Edinburgh.
Oh yeah,
down on Wolf.
The Duke.
Good memories in that place.
Yeah, I have not been there. We only went there once during the pandemic. They were not at full staff, and you could tell they did not have their cooks there. They had like whoever because it was not good. So when things reopen, I will be very happy to go back when they are fully staffed up again. That is
It looks like they're more up to staff. I my bank is near there, so I dropped by I think last week, and there was tons of people there.
Well, I mean, it's open now, as far as I know. I just 50% indoor, maybe. I don't know what their indoor number is.
Yeah, the outdoor was pretty packed. I don't know about the indoor.
But it is a British pub. And it's a real British pub because when you go there are often many British people there. It's not just like
not only that, they imported all the liqueur from England over.
If it feels like it, it's
no,
old.
They did.
Yeah.
I know for a fact they did.
It feels like it's an old English pub. It's
You mean not like the
that's
Britannia
what I mean.
Arms?
It's not a place for a bunch of like bros and frat kids to hang out at. It literally is like a bunch of old British people when you walk in. It's like you're transported to another country. It's great. I love that place. You just get the bangers and mash all the time.
And this is not. This is going to sound like an insult, but I'm meaning it as a compliment. It's very old man.
It is. That's exactly what I
like
want.
Big, comfy, like deep booths, and like everything
Lane
has cushions, and there's a dartboard.
And it's dark.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so great. Lane just brought up one of the greatest memories. It was, I believe, after we moved the store. When we moved to our new location, we all went out to the Duke. I believe that's when this happened. And Bryce ordered the
curry.
Brown curry?
Yes,
I believe it
that was not after the store move. That was something
after Avengers? After like Endgame or something? One of the movies?
No, that was like, the last time Bryce
was leaving. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it was when he moved.
Because those post movie nights, we would go there and just drink. That was like having a meal.
Yeah.
And I couldn't go to that because
that's all right.
Dad.
Bryce ordered the not spicy, not mild, the not spicy brown curry. Not spicy.
British curry is not spicy. That's the whole point.
Spicy. and he looked like a cartoon character, like like the red face and a little mushroom cloud over his head. It took him like hours to eat this curry because of how spicy he said it was.
If anybody's watched the movie Airplane, it's like the pilot when he's nervous and sweating. Bryce is like mopping his face with napkins, wads of napkins.
Look, I can take mild, medium if I'm feeling risky. I don't eat like crazy peppers. I don't eat any of that nonsense. I don't eat like crazy spice. I can't. That is not spicy in any way, shape, or form. And he was dying. It was so funny. It was so funny. That's good times. Good times, Bryce. Good times. So Joshua says, what villain from Marvel would you like to see adapted into the MCU? And any specifics you'd like to see of how they do it? Man, I don't know. I'm going to go with my Chameleon take. I actually think they could do some cool stuff with him. Cop out and reuse an answer. But I think Chameleon could work.
So any villain from comics brought into the movies.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't gotten any of the mutant villains, so
I would
nice to get those.
Kill for a scary ass Annihilus. A scary alien
like negative zone
aliens
shit.
Level Annihilus, right? Grow some balls, Marvel, and just put out some R-rated movies and just go to town. I would kill for that. That'd be great. Just swarms of negative zone junk coming at everyone. Just annihilating, no pun intended, everything.
As you describe that, I immediately think of The Trench.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that still is one of my favorite scenes in like any comic movie. That trench scene was so good.
Yep. Since we're already getting Kang, that would have been my pick. But I got to go with my other favorite Marvel villain. If not Kang, then Doom.
Do you think we're getting Kang? Do you think we're getting real Kang?
Well, I'm not going to pick Kang as an answer since Kang is literally going to be in a movie. That goes against what he's asking. Dr. Doom is my pick.
Yeah.
Aren't we going to get the
He's
High
not
Evolutionary?
Really a villain, though. That's why I was avoiding that.
I hate High Evolutionary.
What?
I don't.
Charlie, what's your answer here? Bail us out.
I like the character at all.
Now that we've gotten into the he's not really a villain category, that actually changes my answer. I would love a comic, doesn't necessarily have to look comic accurate, but a comic accurate Mr. Sinister would make me happy.
Look, all High Evolutionary does is hang out with that cow lady. And they just they do a bunch of weird stuff. I don't know. Well, I guess
now
you could
you're
do
making this sound like a very adult movie.
He created the entire Counter Earth and the Man Beast and all of those. He created a planet, dude. He's the god of a literal planet.
Yay.
Well, you said he doesn't do anything except hang out with Bova.
Where's that planet been recently? Nowhere.
It's on the opposite side of the sun from Earth. Come on.
Isn't that where Franklin Richards' planet is? Is there 2 planets over there now?
I don't know. I don't know anymore. Are
there like 3 planets and they just can't see each other in a weird triangle to each other? How many planets are spinning around the Earth beyond on the opposite side that you can't see? I bet there's a lot.
In comic books and television shows, especially.
Dark side of the sun is what you're saying?
Yeah. A couple more questions, and then we'll wrap up. Actually, a lot, but a couple of these we'll skip. From Chris, he says, I thoroughly enjoyed The Bad Batch on Disney+. Have you guys seen it? And do you think there's any characters that can translate to a comic series? I have not watched it yet. I need to do a full Clone Wars, just everything.
You mean just watch the key episodes?
Everything. I'm a real fan, Brock. I'm not a key episode type of person.
So you're going to suffer through the first season?
All or nothing. Subscribe and never unsubscribe. Start and never end. Never stop.
So what sci-fi show are you burning through right now?
I'm almost done.
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh, nice. How many years has it taken?
like as long as the show was on.
Has anybody watched Bad Batch?
So I've watched the first, I want to say 2 episodes, and like this isn't really something to knock the show, but after watching 2 episodes, I'm like, I'm okay to wait to binge when it's done. Like there wasn't anything that happened in the first 2 that made me worried about getting spoiled on the next episode or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I figure I'm just so far behind on Rebels and all that I need to get through and watch it in order.
So we'll mark the date for when you start Clone Wars.
Well, next is Gundam,
and then
7
years after that is when you'll be. So
you have to understand, I have like lots of different like ways of watching shows. So this is like my I watch randomly when I can, and like weird times. It's like, so Gundam is my next show. So I've been prepping for this for a while. So I'm gonna do a big Gundam watch. Next question is, let me get back to it here. Here's a good one. What Marvel property could you see Zack Snyder directing for the MCU? God. Daredevil, maybe? He does love
Squadron Supreme. Squadron Supreme.
Someone watching something?
Then we can get the Squadron.
Someone's TV on, Toby? Your TV on?
Not.
Fuck off. Why are you
watching one of my kids in another room? I didn't think you could pick it up, but
that's okay.
Basketball is over.
I want a Squadron Supreme so we can get a Squadron Supreme cut.
Who do I want Zack Snyder directing for the MCU? God, I don't even know.
So you need something with big visuals and a lot of opportunity for slow motion action.
Red Hulk.
So the next Punisher.
Oh, that's a good call, Charlie.
So the Red Hulk, Punisher, Elektra, Thunderbolts. Nobody. Okay.
No, wouldn't want that.
Although this wouldn't be a Marvel movie, I think he'd be great at Conan.
I could see that. I don't know if he's great at it, but I can see it.
I'm thinking of the kind of a similar aesthetic to 300, just more rough wilderness type stuff.
God, Daredevil. That'd be a tough one, man. I don't know. I like Zack Snyder, but does not feel like the movie I want him. It's too. Someone described it. I like the way they describe him. Is that he's like there's no well when it comes to Zack Snyder, there's no Lane says Marvel Zombies. Yeah, I could see that. That might be kind of neat.
Has anybody watched that Army of the Dead?
I know one person that has, and they hated it.
I watched it. It was okay.
Yeah, but Zack Snyder is not really known for being, I mean, he's fairly blunt. He's fairly like surface level. So is there a big Marvel? I mean, Blade may have the answer there. Marvel Zombies might be the answer because it's just a big zombie movie, right? I mean, I hate to typecast him, but he's done that a few times now. That might work.
Do you think he could do Blade?
No, there's too much going on in Blade.
Well, look, I will admit, I may be the only one here. I can't remember now. I like the Watchmen movie, but that has got to be on the Mount Rushmore. And I'm talking about since the first film was loaded in the first movie camera, where there's sound available. That's got to be the Mount Rushmore of the most blunt, you use that word, obvious song choices in the scenes. In the history of filmmaking in any nation, on any planet, in any parallel galaxy. I mean, if you watch Watchmen again, anybody who's listening or anybody on the show, just sit back and be amazed at, it's like a 12-year-old and you go like, okay, here's a scene at a funeral. What popular pop song are you going to pick? Oh, how about The Sound of Silence? Done. Okay, here's a scene of two people having sex in the owl ship. And we want to have a big soaring song at the moment of climax. What are you going to pick? How about Hallelujah? Sold. Okay. And it just goes on and on through the whole movie. It's almost like a drinking game.
Yep. He does like those songs. I heard the reason he chose those.
He could do a Princess Power
was
movie.
His kids, like they were like his kids' favorite songs. The one that died. So I mean, I get
Watchmen. For
Watchmen, I mean, it's the same songs. So that's why he's used those songs in multiple movies. But I don't know. From Brandon, he says, I know you guys are the biggest Mark Miller fans. So did any of you check out Jupiter's Legacy? Did anyone watch Jupiter's Legacy? Because we haven't talked about this. I heard
Netflix
less than stellar reviews from multiple people. I, of course, will not be watching it. But if any of you have seen it, this is your time to chime in.
I'm trying to remember if I watched 2 episodes or...
Was that a couldn't get through it or just haven't had time or...
That's for some reason, I keep watching like between 1 and 4 episodes of a bunch of shows. And then instead of continuing those shows, I start another series for 1 to 4 episodes.
Well, it must not be that great if you're not going with it.
Well, part of it is just squeezing in time for this is the stuff I watch by myself. This is the stuff I watch with my kids. This is stuff I watch with my wife.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And that leads to a lot of, I really want to get to this, but then it gets put on the back burner so long that when I'm looking for the next thing to just put on to watch by myself, I don't necessarily go right back to something I already started.
Yeah. All right, we got one final question here. This is a great question. Kevin did have to leave, so goodbye, Kevin. We'll catch you on the next episode. However, the great question to go out on from Max. He says, "What is your favorite complete run that you guys owned?" I just finished collecting the last issues of Mike Grell's run of Green Arrow. So, and I'll take this in omnibus form for Charlie as well. What is your favorite collection of like a complete run of books, not like a one-off book or something like that, but complete? So I've put together some good runs through the years. I've said this before. I mean, I bought a lot of books when they were super cheap. Early days of eBay and in the 90s when, before comics had kind of got stupid like they are now. So, I mean, Avengers obviously is my big run. It's a complete series, but I've been going through and reorganizing my comics, and every time I finish a box, I've been posting them on Twitter. And I kept like the whole run of the first Firestorm series. I'm going through that, and Flash from like Crisis up to now. I've got the entire run. That Flash run is one of my favorites. The 80s, 90s, 2000s Flash run by far is one of my favorite comics of all time. So many good books in that run. Couple key issues, nothing crazy, but great comic.
I mean, for me, it's mostly just the newer stuff that I have, like the New 52 Animal Man and Swamp Thing are really great. Tom King's Batman was fantastic, even though technically it's still not done. Scott Snyder's Batman was really, really good. Even the stuff before in Detective that he was writing. I mean, I have Batman and the Outsiders, all of those.
Yeah, so, you don't go too crazy with the old stuff. You get collections. Your full runs are more current for like single issues.
Yeah, mine aren't like long standing. Like I think Batman might be the one I have them like most single issues of, but I haven't like gone like, well, let me go back and add some more to it. So, but yeah, I mean, for the most part, just. Like, I think I need to go and finish my Sandman run. I don't think I have all of them. I just haven't had it. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, I love this. I got a bunch of issues, and then I needed to get a few more and just haven't had a chance to sit down and be like, do I have them all? So yeah.
I mean, when you include omnibuses and that stuff, like the one that I'm working on right now is the Claremont X-Men, as they're putting out more and more of those omnibuses. I always go back to like the Jeff Johns Green Lantern and that stuff, obviously. But I would probably say the Absolute Planetary is like one of those that is a joy to just sort of have in my collection. And now that they have that like single volume instead of the 2 volumes, I'm even happier with it.
Yeah, it's a good set.
Yeah.
Toby?
Yeah?
Finish off any of your collections recently?
Not really.
I know you're still looking for fill in some of those gaps in some of your manga.
Well, the problem is I'm not entirely sure what I'm missing. So till that happens, it's hard to fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
In theory, I should have them all, but then as I'm starting to find my books, it makes no sense at all.
Mm-hmm.
As in, multiple numbers are one thing, and then none of something else. It's really bizarre. But no, probably what I'm most excited about, like more recently, is like the 80s and 90s cap run on Epic Collection. Also the basically all the Daredevil ones that the Epic Collections have been bringing out. So yeah, those are my two kind of like more recent favorite runs. Yeah, well, when speaking of manga, the Slam Dunk set I will forever cherish, and maybe even Ultimate Spider-Man. But yeah.
How far did you get in Spider-Man?
I finished it.
You got the whole thing?
Yeah.
Did you just get the collections or the singles?
Both.
Oh, nice.
And
nice.
trades.
Nice.
I triple dipped.
Nice.
One would say I quadruple dipped because I also bought the omnibus, which the second volume is coming out soon. So now I'm in trouble. Now,
nice.
Now I've far overpaid for like number 8 and there's 2 volumes that are insanely high. I think one night I may have one too many beers, and as IndieGator can say, do not bid on eBay auctions while you're a little faded. That's very dangerous. But no, I got them all now and some extras because they were in like the ones I got that was missing. They were in like little sets. So I got other ones. So I got duplicates too. But no, I got them all now. But now that I got them all, they announced the second volume of the omnibus. Which just means they're just going to release them all now. So totally did a great thing in overpaying for books that probably will just get replaced by omnibus. But yeah, no, I'm really, really excited for finishing off that cap stuff in Epic Collection and the Daredevil stuff. Actually, 2 of them I'm actually going through and reading them and stuff. So I'm really enjoying that stuff right now. Oh, and actually, I would even say like the 80s and 90s, like Avengers, like in Epic Collection. So I'll add that into the mix too.
Yeah, I know. We've talked about the epics here a lot. I know Kevin Sharp is starting to go down.
Oh, it's a rabbit hole.
Starting to go down the rabbit hole, yeah. And
I just
he's like, no, there's only 1 or 2 I want. And we're like, Mm-hmm. That's how it starts.
That's how it started with me. I only wanted, what was that? The Spider-Man? Is it the Cosmic one? I forgot which one it is. I actually can't find it now. It's the first one I bought, and I can't find it. Of course, it's one of the ones that's out of print now.
Yeah.
But that was like because they included issues that I first bought as a kid, and that's how it starts. So it's almost like a repeat of like deja vu. What happened when I was a kid? I started buying a couple Spider-Mans, and before you know it, I'm a hardcore comic book collector. And with the Epic Collection, I'm only going to get this one because it's got the issues I got as a kid. Because it was total nostalgia, and before you know it, my entire shelf is full of Epic Collections.
That's how it starts.
But I do want to say I do enjoy reading them slightly more than the omnibuses. The omnibuses have a tendency of getting too big for me. But on a lot of stuff, I'm just double dipping because I'm not entirely sure which version I kind of want to keep. So because the way things have been disappearing and selling out, a lot of them, I'm just like, well, I can't decide. I better get them now, and then I'll decide later.
Yeah. Nope, that is people jumping in now to Epics. You're good because you get a lot of reprints, but boy, you got to be on the ball. You got to be on the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I literally just missed one now. Yep. I mean, the one that just came a couple of weeks ago, I thought I had time, so I delayed on it a little bit, and I just realized it's gone. So I'm really mad at myself.
Yeah. Cool. All right. That's a podcast, guys. Thank you all very much for being here. Thank you all very much for recording.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin and I go out a little early, but that's all right. We all got to do that sometimes. We are going to wrap up. Thank our good Patreon backers. You know what? This is the first, so if anyone's changed up their Patreon stuff, we'll deal with that next week. So thanks once again to Joe Duff, Craig Anderson over at clearpathcoaches.com, Jimmy Rivera at the Social Forum Podcast, and Talon Bray. Thank you all very much for your continued support. Patreon.com/ComicConspiracy. If you head over to ComicConspiracyPodcast.com, Apple Podcast, or Spotify, you can hear all our previous episodes. And go to comicsconspiracy.biz to purchase some comics from us on our website for pickup or mail order, whatever you would like to do. If you go to conspiratorbrock.com, you can find his pull list and unboxing videos, other stuff over there. Check out Charlie's podcast, The Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension. It's all about Doctor Who. Kevin does Between the Panels at fanbasepress.com, which is a weekly interview series. You can check out all his work over there. And Leanne, my wife, has an Etsy store at etsy.com/shop/LeanneHillArt. And you can find her at leannehill.com as well. If you'd like to follow us on Twitter, I am Ryan Higgins Ryan. Brock is Best Basement, BES Basement. Toby is Toby XI. Charlie is Insanity and Chaos. Kevin is That Kevin Sharp. And the store is Comics Con Store. And of course, listen to the Geek Bucks and our good friends over at Manga Machinations. We had one of our listeners on this past week on Geekbox, and what else did we do? We talked a little Final Fantasy 14. I've been playing more of that. I don't know where I have no time for that, but playing a little bit of Final Fantasy 14. And there you go. Thank you all for listening to the podcast. Thank you for sending in your questions. Hopefully, we have a little bit more news for next week. And otherwise, we'll see you guys next week.
Wait, wasn't there big news?
Almost. We're not over yet. What's that, Toby?
Wasn't there big news? Wasn't there a rumor of Gal Gadot might be finishing up Wonder Woman after that third movie?
No.
Or is that one of those stupid websites?
Never saw anything about this. It's very possible, I'm sure, but didn't see anything about this.
All right.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll find out more next week. Goodbye.